Greetings, greetings, greetings. I'm not sure if my voice is coming in good. How Naima Buckner, China White, what's going on? Thank you for joining me. How's my voice coming in? Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you can hear my voice. You can? Good, good, good. What's going on? Okay, so I just want to do a quick stream. I know it's been a while since I've been on, but for those that don't know, I frequently appear on the Black Brain Trust. That's where you'll find me most often. I'm actually on the Black Brain Trust a lot more frequently than I'm actually on my own channel. So if you guys are looking for dialogue and content from me, make sure you guys are subscribed to the Black Brain Trust. Basically, that's a collection of thinking black men who are concerned with the progression, of our community as a whole. And so a lot of the dialogue we have is more, I should say, more targeted, and it's not as much what you would say entertainment and shock value that you may see on some of the other channels. Even though we do have fun, we do enjoy ourselves, but a lot of the stuff we're talking about is things that are changing in the world around us and how we need to take advantage of it for our sustainability in the future. But anyways, the purpose of this stream is basically to address this traveling incel question. And I see a lot of the same arguments over and over, just rehashes of topics and subject matter that I believe has already been addressed, from my opinion, has already been addressed on other streams before. Like I've been on YouTube probably about I guess about a year or so, and I've been on different panels, and I've been in different live streams, and I see some of the same stuff over and over again. But let's see, the Black Brain Trust. Thank you for that post, China White. You guys see what's going on, Frogbox? Jay Shine, what's up? And I basically there was a stream that was done about black men being incels, traveling black men being incels, and it could have been more in jest too, but just that idea being out there can be troubling, because people take that and run with it. And I think it's important to establish the importance of traveling for anybody, in particular black men. One of the reasons why I think it's important for black men to travel, because it's important to see this position of people outside of the community in their natural habitat, to see how Chinese perceive you in China, to see how Japanese perceive you in Japan, to see how Koreans perceive you in Korea, to see how Iberian Peninsula Caucasoids perceive you in Iberian Peninsula, Germany, Spain and Portugal, things like that. Because the way they perceive you, the way they interact with you, the disposition they have towards you differs depending on where they're at, because they haven't yet been influenced by American culture. And so that's important. It's important to see the reputation that precedes us, to understand why people come here and they already have preconceived notions about us when they come here, because of the marketing campaign and propaganda that's spread abroad. What's going on, Sheep Stay Sleep TV? And so I think it's important, so that way people have a perspective to see things from the outside looking in, as opposed to the inside looking out. It gives clarity. The saying where you see, you can't see the forest for the trees. It's a different perspective. And so that's why traveling itself is important. If for no other intention but to give perspective. But as far as men traveling, obviously, yes, there are what you would call sexpats. Men who go to other countries because of an enhanced or propped up sexual marketplace value that exists in other places outside of the United States. That's a reality. Yes, that happens. But not all men are traveling for that very reason. You have sex tourism, men who temporarily go places because maybe they want to just indulge in a particular type of woman. And they feel like they have a better selection, maybe better rates, or just a better experience abroad. That's their right if that's what they choose to do. There's nothing wrong with that. Women do it all the time. The difference is women don't have to travel. In a seller's market, women don't have to go far to get the ideal circumstances that they find appealing to them. For some men, they choose to go abroad to find the circumstances that they deem desirable to them. So if they can't get the actual scenario that they want here, keep looking until you find an ideal scenario, even if it's somewhere outside the United States. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that the idea that men are somehow involuntarily celibate, a lot of the men that travel are voluntarily celibate. Because I don't care who you are, there's any man, practically any man can get sexual attention from women, but it depends on what lengths they're willing to go through. Let me say that again. Any man can get sexual attention from a woman. But at what cost? What ethics, morals, values, and principles do they have to compromise to get that attention here in the United States? And some men are just not willing to do that. They're saying, you know what? The juice is not worth the squeeze. I'm not going to compromise myself any further here in the United States. I'm going to go somewhere where I'm celebrated, or at least people will pretend to celebrate me as a black man, even if it's not genuine. Women here won't even pretend. Just reality. And this is the reason why men are willing to go other places. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have people even within our community, we don't even support businesses in our own community. We look at other communities for our commerce because we feel like we get a better deal. We feel like we get better quality. We like the prices more. We shop at Walmart instead of buying at local suppliers because Walmart maybe has better prices. We feel like they have a better selection, so we go to Walmart. This is the cause of the quote-unquote retail apocalypse, because people were going on Amazon in search of the best value. And so men consequently are in search of the best value. And certain things they feel like they can't even get, even if they're willing to compromise to get it. For instance, femininity. That's a big complaint for a lot of men. They're looking for feminine qualities. And they search high and low, far and wide, and they can't seem to find it here. So sometimes there's things that you just can't get. Like if I go to Walmart and I want something that's only in a hardware store, I won't be able to get it in Walmart. I have to find a substitute. But the substitute may not be as effective. So I go where I can get exactly what I want. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't think that makes you an incel. Some of the men, as I said, are voluntarily celibate, which is a difference. They're choosing to abstain from sexual contact with women here in the United States because they just feel like it's not worth it. Nothing wrong with that. Women consistently make choices in the men that they entertain as well. But nobody complains about that. Why? Because they don't have to go overseas to get other men. Well, they're shopping around here. They're exploring their options here. The only thing men have definitely is just broadened their horizons. They've increased their perspective. So, and then you know what? And a lot of the men who complain about or basically have commentary about traveling men, these are men who've never traveled themselves. So they only have one point of reference, the perspective here. So they can do nothing but accept the type of behavior that they experience with the women they date here. Whereas men who traveled see that there is a difference depending on where you're at. So, in essence, I'm 100% in advocacy of men traveling. 100%. 100%. But on the counterpoint, because I want to be completely honest, I think that just in general, there should always be a desire to learn from others' experiences. You don't necessarily have to make every mistake yourself. That's counterintuitive. That in itself is problematic, obviously, because when we look at, the lifespan of a human, we understand that a human being may live, if you're lucky, you may live 85 years. That's if you're lucky. Take good care of yourself. Maybe the help of good genetics, eat right, have physical activity on a regular basis. Maybe you'll live to be 85. Maybe you'll live to be, maybe you'll live to be longer. Maybe you'll live to be older. But out of those, say 85 years on average, how many of those years are productive? Right? You spend your first maybe 20, 25 years spinning your wheels. I won't say spinning your wheels. You're in the process of learning. So you're not as productive as you could be. But there's a certain point when you do become productive, maybe around 20, between the ages of maybe 20 to 25, you become productive. You maximize your productivity maybe around 35, 40, and that extends up into your 50s. So I would say maybe you have productivity for about 40, 50 years. Most people at max. So there really isn't, and that seems like a long time, but it's really not. It's really not a long time. You don't have a lot of time to be making mistakes. Some mistakes you can't recover from. So it's best that if you can learn from the mistakes of others, right, so you can streamline your process. I believe that in itself is a form of generational wealth. Wisdom. If nothing else, if you can at least pass down wisdom to your lineage, so they don't have to make the same mistakes that you did, that in itself is generational wealth. And if you're unable to pull enough wisdom from your lineage, look at wisdom that you can gather from others around you. And this is the point. This is how this ties into the whole incel argument. Because when we look at other groups who've done what we're doing now years ago, we can learn from that. Now, there's some people within the community who are totally against looking at other groups, because their argument is that their experience isn't ours, which is true. We do have different experiences, but there can be some parallels. So it doesn't hurt just to take a glimpse over there and see what's going on. So what we see in the quote unquote mainstream manosphere is that traveling men from these other groups have been doing so for quite some time. And so a lot of the stuff that we're just barely experiencing, they've already chronicled time and time again. They've chronicled the differences in the disposition between men and women that they experience abroad. It's already been documented. So we're really not breaking any new ground. It may be innovative for us, but this is something that's been going on, even from other groups. So we can't say it's a black incel issue because it's not exclusive to the black community. But what we see when we look at these other groups is that by continually going to these other countries and not observing the disposition that men have towards the women, they're disrupting that quote-unquote ecosystem. Because we have to look at the reason why, and this is my whole argument about female nature, because we see that women in other countries behave differently. We can see that when women from these other countries that come here, a lot of times they often become Americanized and they conduct themselves like the women that we were trying to. So when we have those kind of factors that we're able to observe, and then we look at the men that go over to these other countries and we see their experiences where now they're starting to chronicle, or they've been chronicling for a little while now, the fact that when they go to these other countries like the Philippines, right, that men have made it so bad over there, American men or men from more developed countries, men from more affluent countries, more industrialized countries, are going to these countries that have a higher percentage of poverty, and they're bringing with them the ideologies from the countries they left. So basically, they've already destroyed their environment. They've already destroyed their sexual marketplace. Now they go to these other countries where they feel like the sexual marketplace is the way they want it, and then they destroy that. Because you can't go to these other countries with the mentality that you have here in the United States. Because then you destroy that ecosystem over there. Part of the reason why the women act the way they do in these other countries is because of the way the men treat them where they are. But here you come with the American simping mentality, and that's your actual draw for the women, because if you conduct yourself just like the men that are indigenous to that area, what's the compelling factor for the women to date you instead of the men there? Because they're already going to be ostracized from their community. They're already going to be ostracized from their community for dating an outsider. Certain social circles they'll be exempt from because they chose to entertain an outsider. So what really is the compelling factor? Unless you're going to be inordinately simpish to them, buying them all kind of stuff, spending way more money than anybody ever has on them in their entire life. You know, not demanding them to conduct themselves in a certain manner like the men do. Men in those countries have weight requirements for the women over there, behavior requirements. They require their women to look a certain way when they step outside the house. And that transcends socioeconomic strata. A man could be dirt poor and have high standards for the women he's with in those other countries. That's how it is. But when we go over there, we don't have these same standards. We allow the women to run amok. So we, in essence, destroy those ecosystems. Some of us, not everybody, but a lot of us that go over there destroy the ecosystem by doing that. Some of the men were complaining about men from the other mainstream manosphere when they would go to the Philippines for sex tourism, and they were complaining now that, you know, there's been a proliferation of Middle Eastern men. There's been a proliferation of Indian men of Indian descent, East Indian descent. And because of their presence, they've raised the actual going rate for female company and companionship. Because they go over there and they don't even ask how much the rate is. They just offer an insane amount of money. They'll say, here's $200. Come with me. Where they were used to getting, you know, $40, $50. Now you have somebody who's, for them, this is a new experience. They're like, well, here's $200. And so now you have men from the mainstream manosphere who have complained that, well, these Middle Eastern and Indian men have ruined it for us. They've ruined the Philippines for us, but they're the ones that ruined the Philippines from the onset. Because prior to their arrival, the going rate was probably $5-10 for a lady on the street. But again, this is just history repeating itself. See, what we're experiencing within the quote-unquote black manosphere continuum has already been done on the mainstream manosphere continuum side. The arguments that's being said here, men being incels, men not being masculine, men not being select, men not being chosen, men having to go overseas because they can't get women here, that same argument has been said a million times over. And it's already been disproven. But because we so unique and so distinct and not understanding, there's certain things that are inherent in male nature as well, that transcends a phenotypical appearance, it transcends race and ethnicity. There's so many commonalities we share. We have a lot more in common than we have differences. So it's illogical not to look at other groups and see the trajectory that they have, so that way we can avoid the pitfalls that they're already experiencing. Ask yourself, is this methodology sustainable? Is going to these other countries, spending an inordinate amount of monies, is it sustainable? Maybe you'll enjoy it for this generation, maybe the next couple of generations, but at some point, it's going to come to the end. At some point, it's going to be ruined for the people that come after you. So instead of just going over there, y'all should be looking at and observing and learning. Let me see what's going on in these countries. Why are these women in line over here, but they're not in line over there? Or over here where I'm at, why are they in line over there, but why are they not in line over here? Those are the questions that should be asked. Because if we actually believe this, the quote-unquote red pill ideology and doctrine, and we believe in the concepts of female nature, then we understand that a woman's behavior is influenced by her environment. If it's female nature, then we understand that inherently the women that we go overseas to entertain are the same as the women we're trying to elude here, the women we're trying to get away from here. They're inherently the same. What's going on, A. Hamilton? So if the women are inherently the same, then we should be looking at ways to, wait a minute, let's look at ways that we can change the environment here and get the women here to conduct themselves the way we want them to do, the way we want them to be, as opposed to having to go overseas. Now, I'm still a proponent of going overseas, but what I'm saying is that we should be looking at what we could be doing as men here. And I think that's the question that's not being asked enough. And I think MOT has addressed this. In his stream, he talked about how we should be looking at legislature that, how should I put this, that handicaps men here. We don't have the latitude to do what we need to do to keep women in line. Because when we can easily be separated from our finances, which is often a source of our power, is our ability to generate income and ability to concentrate resources. When we can't do that, we're powerless as men, because we can't control our environment without certain resources at our disposal. When we're able to be separated from our resources that we implement to control our environment, that depowers us as men. So we should be looking at ways to actually change our environment here as opposed to just fleeing, because we've already invested so much here. Why do we have to go somewhere else? That's my argument. Why should we as men have to leave? We've already invested so much here. And then it's a sustainability factor, because this is where we generate income. When you go to these other countries, you can't make the money there that you make here. So you have to make that compromise just to go there. And again, I am a proponent of traveling, but why should we have to compromise? We should be able to have what we want right here in the United States. And I think that's where we have to have a level of accountability for individuals that we consider to be leaders of our communities. Individuals we consider to be leaders of the nation as a whole. Why are we not holding them accountable? What's going on, Jay Shine? But I want to keep that short and sweet. I hadn't been on here in a while, and I just felt compelled to address that issue. Again, men, I implore you to travel. See for yourself. But at the same time, I implore men to look at something that's sustainable as well. You know, is it really sustainable? Because traveling is not cheap. Even if you're frugal, it's not cheap. So now you're taking money, you know, and you're traveling, but now you have to look at your trajectory. Because from a financial standpoint, if you're allocating your additional income to travel and recreation, what's the sustainability for your future, where you're no longer able to be productive? You don't want to be a Walmart greeter. Not when you're 60 years old, 70 years old, and you should be retired, barely making ends meet. And I'm not counting anybody's pockets. I don't know what anybody's situation is, but I'm just saying that we got to think about the sustainability of this. Traveling I love traveling. 100% an advocate for it. But if you have to travel just to find a woman worthy of your attention, that's sad. This is a sad state that we're in. And I see why a lot of men feel that way. I look around and I see a lot of women. I mean, but I feel like there's women out here, but at the same time, it's a lot more difficult than it should be. It's a lot more difficult than it should be. And it's sad that men have to go overseas to find companionship. It's really sad. I mean, really think about that. Let me go through this live chat before I get up out of here. I want to say what's up to everybody that stopped by. Start from the top. Naima Buckner and China White, always there to support me. I appreciate that. Those waves, man. Listen, I just got off. I've been at work since it's 8:12 where I'm at right now. I've been up actually since 3:15 yesterday. I went to the gym but then I went to work around 7 p.m. So I'm looking a mess right now. Let me see here. Frog Box, what's going on? That's my day one right there, Frog Box. Pamela Neal, thank you for stopping by. How do they know? They don't know, Jay Sean. They don't know because they never traveled. A lot of the people that have opinions about the issue have never traveled. So how they know, I don't know. Black Brain Trust was the post. China White posted a link for Black Brain Trust. If you guys haven't subscribed to the Black Brain Trust, make sure you guys do so. China White, make sure you subscribe to her channel. Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Respect to him. He has a channel. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, check him out. Show your support over there. Casper 78694, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a minute. Man of Tomorrow, what's going on? Man of Tomorrow has a channel, and Man of Tomorrow has an excellent post. So I want you guys to go check out this channel as well, and check out the post he just did about this very subject. That's the point we were negating last night. Just because men travel doesn't always make it a sex a lot. Hold on, Casper. We not copping no pleas. Because if a man wants to go overseas just for sex, that's his right. That's his right. That's his right. See, men are doing what they're compelled to do because they can't get what they want here. But what's crazy is that women will travel, or they'll go elsewhere for something that that was already offered to them. I'll give you an example. A woman can go to a nightclub, right? She's in a nightclub. Guys are trying to talk to her. Well, I'm not here to talk to anybody. I'm just here to hang out with my friends. Guy tries to dance with her. You don't know me like that. Back up. You know, that type of mentality, right? But then these same women will go to a Chippendales. They'll go to a male strip club and let a man they don't know dance on them naked. Now, what sense does that make? What sense does that make? They already turned down something, but then go somewhere else and get the exact same thing. Now, men are going overseas because they can't get, or they can't get, or maybe it's just excessively difficult to get what they want. That's the difference. Like, there's an actual logic and reasoning behind a man's desire to go overseas. I can see the reason why. Because they're being denied what they want under the circumstances that they want right here. But show me a woman that's going overseas, that's traveling because they can't get what they want here, and then they go overseas and get what they want overseas, as opposed to the same thing that they could have got here. It's a difference. So I don't think any man should have to ever make an excuse why they go overseas, even if they're going overseas just for have sex. You don't have to make an excuse. Too many people on black YouTube talking, they don't know what they're talking about. Well, that's every YouTube. It's not just black YouTube. But yes, men from all races have indulged in sex tourism. Thank you, Jay Shine. Explain these married brothers living in other countries. I don't know about that one, Jay Shine. Hey, Hamilton, what's going on? Know how to act. They know how to act because it's the environment that keeps them in line. It's the environment. I kind of disagree. Tell me what you disagree about. Tell me what you disagree about, Jay Shine. I don't know everything. I might be wrong. Let me know. Kendrick Celestro, new to the channel. Celestin. Well, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by. We need to do a live about this. It's insane. Okay. Mr. Pump Xavier. What's good? I learned a lot of red pill information from your channel. Thanks, brother. Hey, no problem. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, Jay Shine. You know, we kind of in a different time zone, because I know you like over there in Europe, so that's why I'm always missing you. But we'll have to make some arrangement, man. We can do it live. Probably have to get MOT on here too, because MOT got some really interesting perspectives, you know, and just politic about it, you know. I just got off vacation. I'm too scared to partake in sex tourism. LOL. They were trying though. Well, Hamilton, like, you should be traveling anyway, regardless of if you're trying to have sex or not. Everybody should be traveling. Everybody, you know, should have a passport. Should at least have the option to travel. And as I said earlier in the stream, it's very important to get perspective, because if you've only seen America from inside America, you really don't have a perception of America. You need to see America how everybody else sees America. And the only way you do that is once you're actually outside of the United States. That's the best way to do that. Master Teachers. Of course, I know who Master Teacher is. One Master Teacher. Yeah, he's done videos on like Poland, and I know he's a fan of Poland and Romania and Ukraine, and he's done videos on Brazil, and yeah, I've definitely seen his channel, Black Brain Trust. What's going on? Hold on, let me see if I can make. Is that you, Mike? Who is that? Is that Mike or is that Complex? I don't know if that's Mike or Complex logging in with the Black Brain Trust. But if you would, if you can just post your link in a live chat so everybody can subscribe to your channel. If you guys are not subscribed to the Black Brain Trust, check it out. Check it out. You definitely don't want to miss the live streams. Very, very interesting subject matter, variety of topics, and you actually walk away with something. At any rate, I don't want to keep this going on too long. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. For those of you guys who haven't subscribed to the Black Brain Trust, if you haven't subscribed to Black China, China White's channel, China White, make sure you guys support her channel, as well as Sheeps They Sleep TV, as well as Man of Tomorrow. Make sure you guys check out all of those channels over there. They have very, very good content. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. Until next time, I'm out.